Yes, students. Hello to all of you. Here's your pal ma'am back with the second part of the chapter Reproduction in Organisms. As we were discussing in our previous class that the reproduction is the phenomenon which makes sure the species continues on Earth. As we all know, reproduction is of two types depending upon the number of members participating in it. And we were discussing about the asexual mode of reproduction. By now, we know what is fission in details. So, today we are going to discuss about the other modes of asexual reproduction. Let's start. Budding. From your class 10 knowledge, you know that budding is a method of asexual reproduction in which cells of some parts of the body of the organism undergoes repeated mitotic cell divisions. This leads to the formation of an overgrown region of cell masses or outgrowth that we commonly call. Such regions of cell masses that result due to mitosis are called buds. These buds on maturing detaches from the parent organism and develops into a new organism. Now, budding can be of two types. External or exogenous budding, where an outgrowth is produced on the outside of the body of the parent organism. Like in Hydra, you've seen that an external bud is formed which matures and detaches from the parent organism and exists as a new organism which is independent. The same is the case for yeast. Yeast also shows external or exogenous budding. The second type of budding is internal budding, where an enveloped cell mass is developed towards the inside of the body, which are known as internal buds or gemmules. And these gemmules are very common in sponges or porifera, as in case of Spongilla, which is a freshwater sponge, or as in case of Cycon, which is a marine water sponge. Each gemmule is capable of giving rise to a new organism, and such type of budding is known as endogenous or internal budding. Another type of asexual reproduction is fragmentation. In fragmentation, the body of the organism matures to a particular size and then it gets divided or fragmented into several different parts. And each part is capable of giving rise to a new complete organism. And the ability or capacity to regrow the complete organism from a part of it is known as regeneration. And this we have seen in various lower organisms like planaria, hydra, starfish. The most common example being your Spirogyra. Spirogyra matures till a particular length or size and then of its own breaks down into various small parts, and each part develops into a new Spirogyra. The next is spore formation. Now, asexual reproduction takes place by a variety of motile and non-motile spores like arthrospores, chlamydospores, conidiospores, spongiospores, blastospores, Basidiospores, ascospores, etc. etc. Most common in the kingdom fungi. Now, let us see a few typical types of spores, like the zoospores. Now, zoospores are the ciliated, motile, asexual spores which are produced by few algae and fungi. These zoospores swim in water for some time with the help of their flagella and later develops into independent individuals under favorable conditions. This is very common in Ulothrix and Chlamydomonas. Now, the terrestrial fungi have non-flagellated and non-motile spores. Thus, these spores are light and dry, and they are provided with a tough coat and are well adapted for dispersal by wind. An example being the conidiospores, which are produced exogenously in specialized organs called conidium. Now, actually, the structure bearing the true spores are known as sporangium, as we have seen in the case of bread mold, that is rhizopas, and that is the drawing of the fungi that we have been drawing right from our childhood days. That sporangium represents the sporophyte of the fungi, that is spore bearing part. Thus, sporophyte multiplies rapidly in an asexual manner to generate large number of spores. And these spores are released into the atmosphere by the bursting out of the sporangium. So, a single sporangium bears thousands and thousands of spores, and each spore is capable of giving rise to the new organism. Remember, spores are always haploid in number. So, this is about the today's class and the various asexual mode of reproduction. Next, we will see in our next class the vegetative reproduction in plants. Thank you.